Hi everybody, I'm Miss Maureen, one of the Youth and Parent Services librarians at the Huntington Public Library, and I'd like to welcome you to my storybook adventures. And today we're going to be reading The First Strawberries, a Cherokee story retold by Joseph Bruchac and the pictures by Anna Wojtek. And I hope you enjoy this story as much as I do. Long ago, when the world was new, the Creator made a man and a woman. The two of them were made at the same time, so neither would be lonesome. They married, and for a long time, they lived together and were happy. Then one afternoon, the man came home from hunting and found that the woman had not yet begun to prepare their meal. Instead, she was out picking flowers. The man grew angry. "I am hungry," he said in a cold voice. "Do you expect me to eat flowers?" Now the wife, too, became angry. She had picked those flowers to share their beauty with her husband. "Your words hurt me," she said. "I will live with you no longer." She turned to the west and began to walk toward the sun. Her husband followed, but her steps were too quick. He could not catch her. He called her name, but she could not hear him. He went as fast as he could, but his wife was much faster. The sun watched as the husband followed her. The sun saw how sorry the man was and took pity on him. "Are you still angry with your wife?" asked the sun. "No," said the man. "I was foolish to speak angry words, but I cannot catch her to tell her I am sorry." "Then I will help you," said the sun. The sun shone its light down on the earth in front of the woman. Where its light shone, raspberries grew up. The berries were ripe and looked good to eat, but the woman paid no attention to them and continued walking. The sun tried again. It shone down, and blueberries grew. They glistened brightly in the sunlight, but the woman paid no attention to them. She only walked on toward the west, leaving her husband farther behind. Now the sun tried a third time. Where its beams touched the earth, blackberries grew up. They were dark and plump, but the woman's anger was too great, and she did not see them. At last, the sun tried its hardest. It shone its light down in the grass right in front of the woman's feet, and strawberries appeared. They glowed like fire in the grass, and the woman had to stop when she saw them in front of her. She knelt down and plucked one and bit into it. She had never tasted anything like it before. Its sweetness reminded her of how happy she and her husband had been together before they quarreled. "I must gather some of this fruit for my husband," she said, and she began to pick the berries. She was still picking them when the man caught up to her. "Forgive me for my hard words," he said to her, and she answered him by sharing the sweetness of the strawberries. So it was that strawberries came into the world. To this day, when the Cherokee people eat strawberries, they are reminded to always be kind to each other, to remember that friendship and respect are as sweet as a taste of ripe red berries. I hope you enjoyed that story. I have one more story that we're going to share. I'm going to be sharing The Little Red Hen, a folktale classic, and this one is done by Paul Geldon. Once upon a time, a cat and a dog and a mouse and a little red hen all lived together in a cozy little house. The cat liked to sleep all day on the soft couch. The dog liked to nap all day on the sunny back porch. And the mouse liked to snooze all day in the warm chair by the fireside. So the little red hen had to do all the housework. She cooked the meals and washed the dishes and made the beds. She swept the floor and washed the windows and mended the clothes. She raked the leaves and mowed the grass and hoed the garden. One day, when she was hoeing the garden, she found some grains of wheat. "Who will plant this wheat?" cried the little red hen. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the mouse. "Then I will," said the little red hen, and she did. Each morning the little red hen watered the wheat and pulled the weeds. Soon the wheat pushed through the ground and began to grow tall. When the wheat was ripe, the little red hen asked, "Who will cut this wheat?" "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the mouse. "Then I will," said the little red hen, and she did. When the wheat was all cut, the little red hen asked, "Now who will take this wheat to the mill to be ground into flour?" "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the mouse. "Then I will," said the little red hen, and she did. The little red hen returned from the mill carrying a small bag of fine white flour. "Who will make a cake from this fine white flour?" asked the little red hen. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the mouse. "Then I will," said the little red hen, and she did. She gathered the sticks and made a fire in the stove. She took milk and sugar and eggs and butter and mix them in a bowl with the fine white flour. When the oven was hot, she poured the cake batter into a shining pan and put it in the oven. Soon a delicious smell filled the cozy little house. The cat got off the soft couch and strolled into the kitchen. The dog got up from the sunny back porch and came into the kitchen. The mouse jumped down from his warm chair and scampered into the kitchen. The little red hen was just taking a beautiful cake out of the oven. "Who will eat this cake?" asked the little red hen. "I will," cried the cat. "I will," cried the dog. "I will," cried the mouse. But the little red hen said, "All by myself. I planted the wheat, I tended the wheat, I cut the wheat, I took the wheat to the mill to be ground into flour. All by myself I gathered the sticks, I built the fire, I mixed the cake, and all by myself I am going to eat it." And so she did, to the very last crumb. After that, whenever there was work to be done, the little red hen had 3 very eager helpers. The end. I hope you enjoyed that story as well. Again, we read The First Strawberries, a Cherokee story retold by Joseph Bruchac, and the pictures by Anna Wojtek. And then also The Little Red Hen, a folk tale, and this was told by Paul Galdon. Now we're going to head on over and we're going to be doing our craft, so I hope you enjoy that too. Okay, everybody, for our craft, we're going to be using some acrylic paint. I have some Crayola washable acrylic paint here, and you're going to find a couple of leaves from your yard. I did pluck them from the tree so that way they weren't on the ground after being stepped on, so I picked a couple of leaves from different trees in my backyard. And if you can find a big rock, that's great. I did happen to find a few big rocks in my garden. And if you don't have that, I also did find an old flower pot in my garden, which I'm doing. So what we're going to do with the leaves, and it doesn't matter if you have the standard colors with your acrylic paint set, which I do, because what you can do is you can mix your colors to get something really cool. I mixed the red and blue and I got my purple color, and then I mixed my blue and yellow and I got my green color. You will also need paintbrushes. I'm lucky enough to have 2 different ones, but if not, you can always just dip it in the water in between. You have a cup of water. We will also need some Mod Podge and brush, a sponge brush or a sponge, so you can spread that on. Now, one rule to follow when you are doing this, when you are taking your paint, so mix your paint however you'd like, and like I said, I got my 2 colors here. One rule of thumb when you are going to put paint on your leaf, a little bit will go a long way. As you can see, this is one rock that I had done earlier, and I already put the Mod Podge on. You can vaguely see the shape. You can vaguely see the shape of the leaf here, but you can't really see the lines because that's what I had put a lot of paint on the leaf, and so it's not quite going to distinguish. Rather than here, if you look on the pot here, you're able to see all the little different veins of the leaf. So a little bit of paint on your leaf will do you. And then same here, I had a little more paint than I had planned on this leaf, although I do kind of like it. And actually you can see my fingerprint there, but I actually like that look as well. And then compared to here, just a little bit of paint on the leaf there, and you can see all the distinctive veins there. So I still have to finish this pot, so I'm going to finish putting the leaves on the pot. I'm going to put some paint on my leaves here and press them on there. So let me put some paint on that. I'll be right back. Purple paint on this big leaf here, and I'm pressing it into the pot. I'm not so bothered where I have to be precise, but it's your artwork, so you do it as you'd like it. Okay, and another thing which is great to have on hand on this craft is a couple of paper plates, so it's less of a mess, which I'm sure all your grown-ups would appreciate. See, the leaf is pressed in, and I'm just gonna gently pull that off, and as you can see the veins of the leaf. I actually am quite enjoying this. And I'm gonna do another green leaf over here. So here's my leaf that I've been using for the green. So I'm gonna put a little bit of my green paint on that. Just like I said, a little dab will do. All right, so let me put my paint on and you'll see me press that into the pot. You can see I have my leaf with green paint there, so I'm just going to press that in and gently pulling that off. See, as you can see that, so I got my leaves as I like them. I might do one more purple one here. Now I would suggest after you find your rocks in your yard, make sure you wash them. Ask your grown-up which sink they will prefer, if you wash them in, or if you have a hose outside, hose it down there, because you do want the paint to go on something clean and dry. So I did wash these rocks, and I did let them dry. So, because if the rock is wet, the paint won't stick very well or dry very well. And also if the rock is dirty, you'll be painting dirt, and once the dirt is dry, it could just fall off, and if the dirt falls off, your paint is going to fall off. So let me put one more purple leaf on there, and then we will putting some Mod Podge on. Put my final purple leaf on there. So as you can see, it is done. With that, I will let them dry. But this leaf is dry, so I will show you with the Mod Podge with that. But if you see this one, this rock, as I pointed out, is dry. The paint was dry, and I put the Mod Podge on, so I don't have to worry about the paint chipping off. And that is that one. I might add a little more decorative facets to that one. But again, so before you do your Mod Podge, which helps prevent your paint from chipping, make sure the paint is completely dry. So again, this part of my pot, flower pot, the paint is dry. So we're going to put a little, I put a little bit of Mod Podge on a paper plate, and again a little dab. And do not worry, when Mod Podge goes on, it does look like you're covering your artwork with some white paint, but that does dry off, okay? So not to worry. So when that dries, it'll be as shiny and protected as that one. I hope you enjoyed the stories and the craft, and until next time, take care. Bye-bye.